Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, we're going to discuss the classic Fleetwood Mac album, Rumours. Lots of people say this is one of the greatest albums of all time. Do we agree? We have a lot to say and a lot of opinions. Let's jump in, let's give you our opinion, and let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. Today, I'm excited, maybe even a little bit nervous that I have with me my buddies. I'm excited. Super Mario is back. Welcome, Mario.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
Yes,
This is going to be fun.
yeah, well, I think it's gonna be really fun because I'm nervous that Vincent's also here, and we were chatting beforehand, and he's in rare form today.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get.
No, you're like a box of chocolates, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh man, what is it? All the snow has got you like super excited,
Listen,
super
I'm
hyper.
super excited. I'm pissed off. I'm super pissed off. This is me getting through all that anger. You know?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
What about you, Mario? How did you enjoy this weather the past week?
The first one in January was more ice than snow, and I figured, all right, let's get winter off the grid now. And now here it is again, 20 something inches. It was just insane.
It is, yeah. I know, at least by me,
It's a lot.
where they keep the official measurements for Long Island, they said this was the largest single snowstorm ever in the history of Long Island.
Yeah.
Wow.
East Islip 30.1, I
Yep,
think.
exactly. Yeah. We're not here to talk about the weather. In case you don't know what we're going to talk about, all you have to do is look over Mario's shoulder and you kind of have a good idea of what we're going to talk about. And it's funny because the idea to talk about this album, Fleetwood Mac's Rumours, actually started, if you guys remember, about a year and a half ago with the three of us. And Mario, when we were talking about doing one of the first album lookbacks with you, we had asked you to pick an album. And if I remember right, I think you picked Rumours. Am I correct?
Originally, it was Rumors,
Yeah.
and I based that pick because you guys did a deep dive with Boston's first album.
Right.
So I said, all right, so we'll go to that era and pick another great album.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out that way.
Well, because Vin and I had said, no, we want you to challenge us with a record that we don't know. Obviously, everybody knows the Rumours album, pretty much everybody,
Yeah.
right? So you ended up choosing an Alice Cooper album for us
That was
from
fun.
the inside, right? Instead. So we ended up doing that. And now for the last year, we've kind of been choosing albums for each other that the other person or the other people didn't know. And about 3 weeks ago, I guess I put a post up on my Facebook page celebrating the anniversary of Rumours being released. And I remembered us talking about doing this. And somebody commented at that point, this might be the single greatest album ever released. And I said,
Wow.
would I agree with that? We've got to do a podcast. I think I got to get Mario on. We've got to finally talk about Rumours. Do you remember the first time or when you became aware of this album, Mario? I know you're a couple of hours older than Vinny and I.
Just a few. Just
Yeah.
a few. It's funny because 1977, I am waist deep in being a true Kiss fan, hard rock, and then albums started coming out like this and Hotel California, and there's a whole slew of albums that started to come out. I actually printed it out.
Mhm.
Well, of course, Kiss, Love Gun came out,
Yep.
and a whole bunch of other records came out that were just extraordinary. Asia, by Steely Dan, and it was just so much to choose from. And I said, you know what? My palette is big enough that I could like hard rock and this music that started to come out, the sound of almost, California coming out. And I remember liking it, and I know Dreams was a big hit, and everybody on the block just ran out and bought the album. It was like spontaneous. Everybody had it. Everybody fell in love with it. And listen, it's something that has stayed with me all these years later. And it
Mhm.
won album of the year, and the Eagles won record of the year. To this day, I don't know the difference, but both albums are unbelievable, and they have staying power. They're absolute iconic albums.
And to that point, talking about staying power, I don't know if you know this, last year, Rumours was the 10th highest selling physical album of the year and 24th overall in all formats.
Wow.
We're talking what, 40, almost 50 years later, and it's
50 years
still
later.
top 10, top 25, depending on which chart you're looking at, album 40,
Right.
50 years later. That's freaking incredible to me to think about that.
It is.
You
And
know?
it touches a lot of generations. My oldest son, he goes, are you going to do Fleetwood Mac Rumors on the next podcast? I said, yeah. He goes, I love that album. I said, oh,
That's
wow.
great. That is great. That's great.
27.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, Vin, do you remember the first time or when you became aware of the album?
No, honestly, I don't.
Mhm.
But you couldn't escape some of those big hits.
Yeah.
Don't stop and go your own way and dreams. I mean, this was if you listen to the radio and you heard these songs on the radio. I don't. This wasn't a record of my childhood. Like I remember specifically, The Stranger on the turntable over
Mhm.
and over again. I'd be like, who put The Stranger on? Another album that you're probably gonna be like, what? We had a Rita Coolidge record, and I think it's 77 or 78.
Right.
She had a couple of big hits.
Yeah.
She actually had that hit that was actually a cover of that Boz Scaggs song. You know, close the window, come the light,
Oh,
set
right.
it
That's
on
Boss
it. What's
Skaggs.
that? Yeah, yeah. She did a couple, which was a big hit. So there
Yeah.
were certain records that I remember of my child, but this wasn't one of them. But
Interesting.
I would remember going to other people's houses, and I feel like this was one of the records when I used to go to your house that was like sitting on the, in the front.
100%.
Yes. So
100%.
and my cousin, I remember, going three doors down or four doors down. His father had that record out with the
Mhm.
Boston record. So I mean, you couldn't escape the record and the
Yeah.
songs for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say coming to my house and seeing it because growing up, my dad was not a big music lover. He would never put on the radio if he didn't have to. My mom largely would listen to the radio, and they did have a record collection, not a huge record collection, but some records.
Hmm.
And this was definitely one record, not only that they had, but it's the first, I'll say, non-Kiss album that I'm aware of. Okay, just
Wow.
as a kid. Not to say that in 1977 I knew all the songs on the album, certainly not. No way.
Right.
But I was very aware of this record and very aware that in this time period, it was especially my mom's favorite bands, right?
Look at that.
Fast forward for me into the late 90s is really when I started to become really aware of the whole album front to back, right? And it was odd because the reason I became into really getting into the record was first in 95, 96. It's going to seem odd at first, but No Doubt put out the Tragic Kingdom album. And in the press, there was a lot of comparisons, not that the music sounded the same, but that album, Tragic Kingdom, was based off of interband love, personal turmoil, and things like that. And a lot of articles were comparing it to Rumors,
Oh,
not musically, but just the lyrical
the
content.
theme.
And
Right.
I loved that No Doubt album, and I was like, gee, I remember my parents really liking that Rumors album. I should listen to that again. So that's what triggered it. And then the next year, Fleetwood Mac had the dance, which
Yeah,
was
that was
huge, huge.
huge.
So then at
Idea
that point,
dances.
I really became big into this album. But it's weird, like of all places, because I like No Doubt, really started to get me into Fleetwood Mac, which is really bizarre.
It's a great story though,
Mhm.
how one album could link to another album.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Even though musically they sound nothing alike at
Nothing
all,
alike.
nothing
Right.
alike, but just lyrically, there's the same content. But it's pretty remarkable if fans don't realize that this is not the original Fleetwood Mac lineup. It's the classic lineup, no doubt about it.
Right.
But if you look it up, and I've tried to look it up. Some people say this is like the ninth or tenth lineup. Some people say it's the eighth. Like, there's all different people, like different ways people count it based
Right.
on touring lineups, whatever. Point being, there was close to 10 other lineups
Yeah.
before this lineup on this album, which is unheard of, really.
Yeah.
To think about, I can't think of any bands in their eighth or ninth or 10th iteration is when they finally became big. That's
Right.
crazy. And
Right.
it's not their first album. It's their what, like ninth, 11th album, I think. I think it's the
11th
11th
album.
album. It's nuts. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's their second with Buckingham and Nicks.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they call, Fleetwood Mac fans call this their White Album.
Hmm.
Don't get me started. But but that album had a 6-month tour to support it, and it had Rhiannon, and it was very, very successful record.
Yeah.
But that 6-month tour is when the relationship started to fall apart, and they were writing about it, and
Yeah.
then, the following year, Rumors appeared. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Now, what's fun, I'm so glad you have this over your shoulder there, Mario. I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize that the sound of Fleetwood Mac, in my opinion at least, is really the sound of Buckingham Nicks.
yeah,
You
it
know, I
really,
mean, some of these songs, and we'll talk about it as we go through it, were even
yeah,
originally Buckingham Nicks songs,
yeah.
you know?
It's especially the Chain
Yeah. But even
was
a few
kind of,
others, and I'll talk about
yeah,
that when we go through it,
yeah,
because I'm into like collecting all the live recordings and all of that. And
yeah,
some of these songs are actually performed with Buckingham Nicks before they were in Fleetwood Mac.
right.
You know,
And
so
originally they didn't want Stevie. They were only interested in
yeah.
Lindsay. And he said, we're a package deal. So
Hmm.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with
And
that little decision, look what happened.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I sometimes wonder, I mean, Mary, you have the record. Vin, do you have it in your collection, the Buckingham Nicks album?
I do not to my
No, you
grave
figured you'd show
ability.
off the Peter Criss album instead of the Buckingham Nicks or Fleetwood Mac album.
If anybody
And
wants to know,
It's that one. That's the
Joe
record.
Joe
Dolce.
Dolce.
Oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. What are we gonna do? Well, should we jump in and talk about the Rumors album?
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
First song then.
Wait, hold on a
Secondhand.
second. I want to do the setup for this, okay?
Go ahead.
So I just want to say a couple of things before we
Go
go into
ahead.
the first song, because I think this is important that we discuss this and at least talk about this, because I think it's really pertinent
Currently, go
to
ahead.
this band. Yes. What even before we talk about why these songs are so great. Ooh, spoiler alert. What makes the song so great is the individual sounds of each unique member. And the fact that you have, Stevie Nicks' voice, which doesn't sound like Christine McVie's voice, which doesn't sound like Lindsey Buckingham's voice, and John McVie doesn't sing, and neither does McFleetwood. But
Mhm.
as a drummer, very unorthodox kind of playing
Yeah.
fills, very unique sound. I can't really even compare him to another drummer, quite honest. And as we go along, I'll tell you about songs and all that. I mean, and John McVie with his bass lines and Go Your Own Way, it's just like another vocal in there. I think that's what really, as a setup to this record, makes this band so special and these songs so special, because it's not one song that really sounds like another song. They're like little song time capsules. So
well, let me ask you this, Vin, right? Because I was going to bring this up at some point, so
Yeah.
it's good right now. As I was running today, I listened to this album one last time, and I'm thinking about this. I'm like, is there any other bands I could think of that had three, I'm going to say, co-lead singers? Now, we know the Beatles, all four members sang. We know Kiss, originally, it was the three of them, then all four. But in the Beatles, it was John and Paul, and then Ringo would get a bone thrown his way, and George. Same thing with Kiss. In Fleetwood Mac, the three of them at this point are equals, right? They have equal amount of songs. They can't say that, oh, Lindsay's the lead singer or Christine's like it's even split. Can you think of any other bands like that where it's an even split amongst three people?
Well, I don't know if it's even split, but the Eagles come close with Glenn Fry and
Yeah,
Don Henley
yeah.
and Timothy B. Schmidt, or who was the original bass player? Help me out here, Mario.
Prior to oh gosh, he's been there so long.
No, prior to Timothy B. Schmidt.
Yeah, prior to Timothy, I forget.
I can't remember his name, but anyways, three distinct voices. They all did leads, and there's here's the difference. As pure singers, when you think of Kiss, even, right? Yeah, Paul Stanley's he's like a pure singer. Gene, yeah, for the most part, he does the demon voice and all that, but we know you listen to his solo album, he could really sing.
Yeah.
but I wouldn't put him on the same level as some of these other guys. Even Ace Frehley, obviously, he's got his own unique style, and Peter Criss is, So I think when you're talking about just pure singers and where they really shine, and we really hear this vocal performances on these songs, and we'll go through the songs and why it's just drenched with just emotion, and because, like you said, with the turmoil and everything that was going on. When you're basically saying you could go your own way, you're talking about the girl that's in your band to say, you know what I mean? It's like
it's the two people harmonizing and talking about each other.
I mean, where do you, But anyways, okay. So I've done my setup.
No, absolutely.
No, very
Lindsey
good.
Buckingham, don't play with a pick. He plays,
So I was going to bring that up at some point with some of these songs.
He
can potentially, to me, be one of the most underrated guitarists.
Yeah, probably.
He's not flashy like.
And wrote one of the greatest theme songs to any movie.
What's that?
Was that Holiday Road
Holiday
for the vacation? Vacation.
I did not know he wrote that.
That's him singing it, and that's him.
I did not know that. Wow, I just learned something. I did not know
the Brun. All right.
Yes, I did not know that.
Yeah, it always gets me every time I hear that. You gotta listen to that song and do this. Anyways, all right. So,
all right. Well, that's a good setup. I'm glad you said all that because
thank you.
I think some of that's going to play into our conversation on many of these songs. Perhaps even starting with the first one, Secondhand News. So, Vince, since you've got the floor, I'm going to let you start Secondhand News.
I love the way the song starts. How you had that. It's not Eye of the Tiger. You're not going to hear it's pre Eye of the Tiger, but it's a great opener. I love when Stevie Nicks comes in and harmonizes with him, and now the little down, and he's got those little acoustic parts and the drum groove in there. It's and I just love the way the song title you're hearing it at the end. I'm your secondhand news. I'm your secondhand news. I think it's a great album opener. Not quite, upper echelon 7. Do you want to give the rating thing that for those who've never watched this before?
Just in case there's somebody out there who's never watched this podcast before, shame on you. But what we do is 0 to 10. We'll be after you. That's right, 0 to 10. 5 is middle of the road, so that 5 means average. 7 and above is your upper echelon songs. As I always say, not every song is a quote unquote stairway to heaven. Not every song is a 10, right? So when you start getting to 7, 8s, and 9s, that's your upper echelon song. We don't look at every song and just say it's a 9, it's a 10. That's kind of boring. So with that in mind, where are you landing then on Secondhand News, man?
And we also don't compare it to other albums because you gave this album, this song a 6 or 7. We're really just focused on the body of work.
We're talking on the body of work, but I always go back and I do my comparisons, to be quite honest.
Of course you do. Because
you know that. I've texted you. Do you know this song is the lowest rated song we've got? Do you know this is the first song we've got all 10s on or whatever it is? So
pivot table ball.
Yeah, that's me. I'm pivot table boy. But anyway, you're shying away from giving your review.
6.8.
6.8. All right, there you have it. 6.8 for Vin. Go ahead, Mario. What do you think?
Well, I'm glad Vin mentioned the opening because I was watching some interviews with Lindsey and he said that Jive Talkin' by the Bee Gees was his inspiration to do that little muffled acoustic opening.
That. Yep.
And it's a playful song.
Mario stole my thunder, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry.
no, that's okay. But one of us was going to say it's all that matters. I'm glad 2 of us knew and Vin didn't. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Now Vin just learned something.
Exactly.
But it's a playful sounding song, but it's loaded with this bitterness and this jealousy. It's true what they say. Some people break up and they leave, but these people are breaking up and they're in this little studio making this unbelievable album, and so I like the song. It's not quite as low as Vin. I'm giving it an 8.5.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm with you guys. I think it's a great opener. I think the production on this song is also phenomenal. Like if you listen to it in headphones, and if you haven't, just go. There's guitar in one ear, there's the backing vocals in another ear. When Mick's playing the drums, you hear the cymbals and the different sides. It's really, really done well, the production on this. If you listen to the deluxe edition, there's like an early version of this album. Yeah. And I would say the final version, Vin, I'm glad you brought this up in the beginning. Mick Fleetwood's drumming on this song to me takes it to the next level, right? So Stevie Nicks, I almost said Stevie Wonder. Stevie Nicks' harmonies, I think, are great on this.
Snuck in the studio.
It
was piano.
Good, move away, Christine.
Yeah, and that's how he plays too.
Yeah,
like he's Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, that's right, exactly. No, I love this song. It's to me everything I love about Fleetwood Mac. I actually even go a little higher than you, Mario. I'm going with a 9 on this.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
Who'd
right.
have
I
thought that I
love
was
this
going to get
song.
the lowest rating?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love this song. Absolutely
Hmm.
love it. So, all right, Dreams, go ahead, Mario. I'll let you start.
Oh gosh. I mean, this is a song that almost didn't make it. I mean,
Crazy.
she presents this song to the band and we're hearing words like boring but leave it to Lindsey Buckingham. He just took those lyrics and that little keyboard that she put together and the bass and the drums, everything just, full tilt. I mean, this is what a 10 sounds like. This is
Mm,
just a great, great song. And
nice.
it never gets boring to me. All these years later, it comes on the radio, I don't change it. I put
Hmm.
it louder. I like it. I like it a
Nice.
lot.
Nice. So you're going with a 10.
I'm going with a 10.
Nice. What about you, Vin?
It's amazing what you could do with just two chords. This song is
Yeah.
literally two chords.
Mhm.
The chorus is the same two chords as the verse, which is like the taboo rule. No, you got to come up with a change.
Yeah.
I'm going total Bo Derek on this one. I'm going with a 10 on this.
Wow. Okay, two tens.
Yeah.
A total Bo Derek. I like that. Is that a new rating for us? The total
I
Bo
just thought of it.
Derek.
Yeah, go total Bo Derek on
Uh,
this.
well, as we know, we've only had one song, Vin, where we've had three tens
Yeah.
when we had a guest on the show. Sorry to tell you, it's still going to remain that way for now.
Oh, wow.
so,
What was
so
that song? And who was the guest?
it was my brother and When You Close Your Eyes from Night Ranger.
Oh,
It
okay.
was the
Wow.
only song
Interesting.
that all three of us gave tens, right? So I like this
Party
song.
party pooper.
I'm a party pooper. I like this song. I'll be honest, I've never loved it. I've never fully connected with this song for some reason. And it might have to do with remember one in the intro when I was saying, like, I remember my parents listening to this record, my mom especially. And I remember me being 7 years old, and this song obviously was the huge hit.
Sure.
And this song is what I related to as quote unquote my parents' music. You
Ah.
know? So for some reason, I know that that's silly, and it's especially silly when I think about it now that today I'm older than my parents were at that time listening to this. So,
There's
but
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but for some reason, then, as great as the song is, I've never 100% connected with it. I also want to tell Stevie Nicks that, thunder does not only happen when it's raining. It was happening when it was snowing the other day, also. I'm just going to
That's
say
true.
that, okay? And funny thing is, until like the last 10 years, I don't know what it is. The line players only love you when they're playing. I
Yeah.
always thought it was friends always love you when they're playing. So growing up, I don't
Hmm.
know what it was. I was like, friends only love you when they're playing. Well, that's kind of sad. And even as a kid, I was like, no, but my friends like me even if we're not playing. So for some
Hmm.
reason and there was only like 10, maybe 15, probably in the 90s actually, when I
Uh-huh.
started listening to the record again. Wait, that's not the lyric. Um, sorry, I'm gonna go with a 6.9 on this, just under the upper echelon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
ought to be illegal.
All right. Never going back again. Go ahead, Vin.
Again, this is a good tune. I like this one. It's a nice follow up right after this, kind of like the flow. I mean, the record flow. Remember, side A, side B. We're
Mhm.
talking, when we had vinyl,
Yep.
and we also had 8 tracks that they would just change in the middle of a song.
Click, click.
That was a wonderful technology. Oh, I love this part. I go, oh, you know. I went with a 6.5 on this one.
Okay. Interesting. What about you, Super M?
Well, it's Lindsay. It's a nice acoustic song. It's a very nice flow, the way Dreams ends and this
Mm.
song comes on. Um, it's like 7.2 on this one. It's
Okay.
good. I like
Mhm.
it.
Okay. Yep.
I mean,
So,
yeah, we should say like his acoustic playing really shines on this,
yes.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
and it's
And to that point, Vin, I said before that some of these songs are older Buckingham Nicks songs.
Mhm.
This is one of them where it was an
Mhm.
acoustic song that he would do in concert with Buckingham
Yeah.
Nicks. There was no
And they
lyrics
basically
to
just
the song.
kept it all acoustic.
Yeah.
There's acoustic,
Yeah.
there's vocal, and some backing vocals. Other than that,
Right.
But
Right.
when I say it was an acoustic song, there was no lyrics at all. I mean, it
Yeah.
was an instrumental. It's like a 90
Yeah.
second instrumental that he carried
Yeah.
over to Fleetwood Mac and made it into a song.
Right.
I love this. I love the whole lyric. Been down one time, been down two times.
Yeah.
It's something about him, even as a singer. I really like him. I really like him as a guitarist. I like him as a singer. I like the guitar playing he does in this. I'm going with an 8 on this one.
All right. It's very unique
Yeah, then
the way
that's what it
he
is.
the way he sings and the way he plays. It's very
Yes.
and I love his guitar. And what's
Mm-hmm.
it called? It's called the Rick Turner Model 1.
Mm. Okay.
It's electric, it's acoustic. He gets so much out of that
He
little
does.
guitar. I love it.
Yep.
I love
Yep.
it.
Agreed. All right. Don't stop. I think I'll start first on this one.
Go
You
ahead.
hate the Hammond organ.
No, 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 no. I hate to say this.
He is that organ. It's like, is the guy from Boston here? Tom Schultz?
No, no, don't hate the organ at all. Not at all. But I can't shake the thought. Remember what I said before? I knew this album as a kid, and then it really wasn't until the later 90s when I started to get into the album and this and as a whole. And I can't hear this song. I hate to say this. I hate it without thinking of Bill Clinton. This is the first song I ever remember being associated with politics. Not to say it is the first,
Right.
but it's the as a kid growing up, it's the first time I remember a politician stealing a song that I already knew and claiming it for something else. So
Right.
it's a great song. It's
Yeah.
overplayed to death, obviously, but I try not to let that influence me. I love the fact that Lindsay and Christine shared the lead vocal on this.
Yeah.
In my notes, I said, yeah, this is a Stone Cold classic, but I can't go 10 on it. I went with an 8 on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Mario. What about you?
Well, what you said, I agree with.
Yeah.
But this I don't know, in the middle of all this misery, there's this really nice positive song, you know? And
That's true.
yeah, I think it's the only positive, song, and
Mhm.
it's good. Like you said, it's a Stone Cold classic. But I'm not going to give away my tens just like, we're at the Waffle House.
Chiclets. Like chiclets. Remember the gums,
The
chiclets?
chiclets.
Yeah.
But Don't Stop is an 8-9 for me.
8, 9. Nice.
8 or 9 or 8.9?
8.9.
Okay.
8.9. Nice. What about you, Vin?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you hear that the piano and the synthesizer or whatever it is, that's that you just and then when a song kicks in, you go the bump 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 bump, and you got that Mick Fleetwood swing and the na 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 na, and the vocal comes in. It's like how could you not like enjoy listening to a song like this, especially lyrically? It's got that such positivity and I love when Christine comes into the second verse with
Yeah.
her voice, such a unique sounding voice. There's really no one
It
who
is.
sounds like her,
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
that real rich, I mean, how do you get so blessed with, this voice? And then you got, Stevie Nicks with that other totally different,
Totally.
I mean, it's really incredible. And even then when you hear it'll be here better than before. When you hear before, you hear Christine's voice more. You hear that sound, at least in my ear. I mean, this song is a classic. I get a 9.5 for this one.
All right. Vin, we'll stay with you then. The next song, one of the big hits on the record, Go Your Own Way. Go ahead.
Maybe one of the greatest songs ever written, honestly. I mean, you should really watch. There's it wasn't the Behind the Music series. It was VH1 who did it.
Classic albums?
Classic albums, yeah.
Yeah.
On this. I have the DVD, but you
Yeah.
can find it on YouTube. And Lindsay talks about this song and where the
There
acoustic comes in.
That's great.
Yeah, there it is.
Right on cue.
Don't
That's
let me
good.
go into my room. I got one too.
Yeah, but Mario's prepared. You're not.
Listen, I'm not gonna. You think I'm gonna freaking challenge him with his shrine?
That's true.
You know what he doesn't have?
I'm pretty sure I do.
Mario, next time you and I both have to be prepared our own Joe Dolce 45.
Fairly certain. Fairly certain.
It's like admission. You can order admit,
That's it.
You got that electric and ding 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 where he comes in, he plays the track without that, and then he puts it in.
Yep.
And you see how much that adds, and what a great chorus, the bass line,
Blown away.
it's just the way the song ends, the way they would do it live, again, what we said earlier, that both Stevie and Lindsay are singing together on this one.
Yeah.
on the choruses, he's basically telling her, you could go your own way. And the sound of the Hammond organ, which I know you hate, Mike, in the choruses. It's just such a great song. I mean, this is an easy 10. This is a layup, and I stick in basketball.
It's a layup.
That's when we go like this.
Very good. What about you, Supreme?
Hey, to this day, Stevie Nicks doesn't like that line, packing up, shacking up's all you want to do. She mentions it even to this day when she's interviewed,
so
if she's asked.
Mm-hmm.
This is back to the Waffle House in the tens. This is what a 10 song sounds like. I just love everything about this song. It's just lyrically packed. The drumming, everything about it. The vocal, forget it. Just phenomenal, phenomenal song. And I never turn it off. Never turn it off. It's a Bo Derek.
It's a Bo Derek.
No, it's a double Derek.
It's a double Derek. So I said before that I was going to rain on the parade and not go to a triple Derek. This time I will. All right. So,
Thank God.
It's exactly like you said.
I left the car warm just in case.
It's likely exactly like both of you guys said. I mean, this is just such a perfect song. And if you go back and Vin, I'm glad you said this before. If you go back and listen to like the original demo, there's no acoustic guitar in it. And boy, just something about the way they produced this for the final album, adding the acoustic guitar, the harmony vocals, to my ear, and I could be wrong, it sounds like they sped up the tempo just slightly and just brings the whole song to life. I mean, this is a song, like you said before, Mario, if it comes on the radio, there's not a chance in the world I'm turning this song off. I mean, this is, I'll put this up in maybe one of the top 10 to top 20 songs of all time, any band, any era, any album. It's a 10 plus in my mind, but we only go 10. So
we only go 10.
Yeah, so 3 10s it is for only the second time ever on our album reviews. And I'm not surprised. I purposely went last year. I was like, man, I hope these guys have the same opinion. I'd say, I can't imagine they don't. How can you not think this song is a 10? But hey, everybody has different opinions. So I'm glad that we're triple 10 on that one.
It's a great song.
It is. All right. Songbird. Go ahead, Mario. Where are you on this one?
Well, they leave the studio for this to go to an auditorium. And
I love the narration. It's
the best. I love it.
The one thing you never get with me, it's that narration.
That's right.
And they put microphones where the seats are, and it's her alone, and it's
what you can see on that DVD or that on that what's it called? Classic albums.
Classic albums.
About,
So they leave the record plant and they go to Zellerbach Auditorium. And everything
Zellerbach, he had that in the Zellerbach Auditorium.
And
I know Carnegie Hall. He knows Zellerbach Auditorium.
Hey, it's the Carnegie Hall of LA.
You know that.
But it's a tremendous song. They say that they cry in the wings when she's out on the stage alone playing it. When she back when. I like it. I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Nice. What about you?
9 to 5. What about
you, Mr. LaRussa?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful song. The fact of what Mario said, how it was recorded, the sincerity of the voice, and just proves that you don't need much production. I mean, you got the production of the Zellerbach, auditorium, the sound, but the piano and her voice. I mean, this is definitely in the upper echelon song. I didn't go quite as high as Mario. I gave it an 8.3.
Okay, nice. We were talking before about the different voices, and Christine's voice in this song to me is just so phenomenal. And I try to think of what about if other great singers sing this song, would it resonate with me as much? And I'm not sure that it would. There's just something about the way she sings this song, and the sound of her voice is really just phenomenal, is the best way for me to say it. In my opinion, this is her best song. So I absolutely love it. I'm right with you, Mario. I'm on at 9.5 as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Vin, you mentioned the chain, or one of you guys mentioned the chain before. I think it was you, Vin. So why don't you go first?
I fucking love this song. It's great, this song. I mean, it's just the way to start. And then and the vocals, the those stops, you know, and the chorus, the way the pre-chorus to the chorus and the end, the way the song starts to the way it ends is kind of like when I think of writing songs, how you start one place and by the time you get to the end, you don't realize it's the same song, which, and I just love the way when they would do it live, Chain keeps us together. And then they would just end on the dime there. It doesn't fade.
Right.
I love this song. I can't quite give it a 10, but I gave it a 9.
Nice. What
Very
about you,
good.
Mario?
Very good. Well, the sessions began with the chain.
In the
And it
Zellerbach Theater?
But it wasn't. No, no. Back at the record plant, wise guy. And it started with the chain, and they couldn't. It wasn't going anywhere. So they make this incredible album, and they go back to the chain, and it's the only song on the album credited to all five of them, and they all had some input, and it's a tremendous song. It's not quite, I don't think it's, a 10, but I'm gonna go with Vin and go with a 9. But tremendous, tremendous. The bass in this song.
Yes. I was waiting for one of you guys to bring up the bass.
Yeah, I meant to think that,
God.
That whole bass at the end. That's freaking great. I love it.
And to get back what Vinny was saying about the drumming, especially towards the end of this song, is that, he's never going to be mentioned in the same breath as the legendary drummers. But for God's sake, the guy has such unique style.
Yep.
And each song is completely different when it comes to what this man could bring to the percussion. It's just phenomenal talent. It's just great.
It is, yeah. Mario, like you were saying, this is a song they were working on, and it kind of sat there, and they've taken different bits and pieces from different things that each of them were working on to make it this one song. If you go to that Buckingham Nicks album that's over your shoulder right there, there's a song on there called Lola that's actually the exact riff of the start of the chain. Right. It's literally, and Buckingham Nicks used to open their show with Lola, and Fleetwood Mac would a lot of times open up with the chain. So again, It goes back to what I was saying before. When people say they love Fleetwood Mac, if you haven't listened to Buckingham Nicks, go check it out, because it's just the early version of this Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
I love this song as well. Vin, you mentioned before the live version. To me, the live version, for me, is the definitive version. When they do this song live, it's just...
Did they open up with this on that, the dance?
The dance, yes. And the harmonies they do. And I love that obviously live, the song's not going to fade out, obviously. And that the way it ends, exactly like you were saying, I get disappointed that it fades on the record. I'm like, no, I want more. I want that sudden end here. Because the live version is my go-to, like you guys said, I can't go with a 10 on this. I went with an 8.5 for the studio version. If we were talking live, I might be a 10 on this if it was the live version that we were talking about. That's how great I think it is.
The dance is unbelievable.
It's phenomenal.
It's beginning to end.
It's phenomenal.
And there's a lot more about that we're going to talk about later.
It might be, to me, one of the greatest live performances that were captured on tape ever. It's really phenomenal. So, all right. You make love and fun. Who wants to start? Mario, you laughed. Go ahead. You go first.
Well, it's about her affair with the lighting director, but she tells John that it's about her dog. And he buys it. And he buys it. It's a great song. It's Christine again, that unbelievable voice. She's a beautiful, beautiful singer. And it's got like a heartbeat, this song. It's not maybe it's just it's a cultural difference, because from what I understand, Christine and John avoided each other. They don't sing together, they don't write songs together, so they just give each other the silent treatment. But Buckingham Nicks argued a lot, yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. So I think You Make Love and Fun, it's very, very, British. It's a wonderful song. I like it. It's a 9 for me.
Wow, nice. For me, this is another one. I hate to say this,
Your
that
mom.
I think of my parents. Yeah, exactly. Although I connect a little bit more with this as I got older, but it's still I have that nagging at me. And yes, I know that's silly. I know it is, but it's another one of these songs from this album that I think back to my parents and me being 7 years old and me thinking, well, that's old people music. Saying that I love towards the end of this song when Christine's singing like she's like you make love and fun, and then Lindsay comes in like a little guitar thing. I love that. Might be one of my favorite parts on the album. Just something about it. And it's just like those little touches, the little flavors that he puts in there like that I just think is great. I go with a 7 on this one.
Okay.
What about you, Vin?
Yeah, I mean, this is another. I know again. We should talk about. We're talking about Mick Fleetwood's drumming. We're talking about Lindsey Buckingham's guitar playing. We're talking about John McVie's bass playing. But don't underestimate her keyboard playing. She's playing clavinet or clavichord on this. It's like a funky kind of thing, like Stevie Wonder type of thing.
Yeah.
As a keyboard player, and Steve I get always Stevie and Lindsay, those two names, Lindsay with those little lead parts, those little couple of notes, man, tells you don't have to, you don't have to play like, Yngwie Malmsteen, what's memorable. Somebody said to me once they went to go see Dream Theater and they couldn't hum, they left there without being able to hum one melody that came out of this, because it's, and I'm thinking Dream Theater, and that's not what I'm trying to say. Right. But melodies, could be as simple as 2 or 3 notes, Wonderful Tonight, think about the melody.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It makes things great. And I love when, to your point with at the end, when she's saying, you make love with fun. And the bass line again.
That part might be my favorite part of the album, actually, for some reason, like those 2-3 lines right in there, just musically, I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's again, it's like where the song started, where it ends. I love this song. I think it's a fun song to listen to. I gave it an 8.5.
Nice. You make listening fun, you wanted to say.
There you go.
Yeah, make listening
fun.
Nice. All right. Well, Vin, let's stay with you then. I don't want to know.
Wait, what did Superman give?
I went with 9.
9. Okay.
9.
Okay, I didn't put that in there. Okay. Stay with me?
Yeah, let's stay with you. I don't want to know. But I do want to know what you think of the song.
Well, I don't think it's as good as the Dexter song. But that being said.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Dexters wrote a better song than Fleetwood Mac.
I would never say that. No.
Absolutely.
No, that's what you said. I have it on tape here.
Is it actual tape?
Fair enough. Touche.
Again, it's got some really cool guitar playing that I really like. But this is, again, to me, not an upper echelon. It's right on the fringe of that. I gave it a 6.5.
Okay. What about you, Super?
I mean, I think he might be playing a 12-string on this. And I love the way the vocals are together, but it just doesn't eclipse, that hump for me to make it an upper echelon.
Yeah. It's, look, not obviously not everything's a 10, but this is a good song. It's
except for Bo Derek, as we've
said. Except for Bo Derek.
We have to be very circumspect when we attach a 10 to something.
Yeah.
But it's a 7.5 for me. It's good. It doesn't reach, the immortality of the rest of the album.
Yeah. It's funny because not that I want to be a broken record, but this is another one of those Buckingham Nick's leftover songs. Again, if you go back and you listen to, there's a concert from '75. They do this song in concert, and it's almost identical to the album version that's on the Fleetwood Mac album. So the song at this point is a couple of years old.
Right.
This song originally was not meant to be on Rumours. Another song which was left off, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, Silver Springs was going to be on, and they took Silver Springs off and they replaced it with this song so that Stevie would have another song. I happen to really like this song. I know a lot of people think it's the quote unquote throwaway on the album. I never felt like that. I'm going to go with a 7.5 on this one. I like this one. And I'm going to just say this, and I'm sure neither of the two of you, and probably 99.99999% of the people who watch and listen and have never heard this, but in the 90s, the Goo Goo Dolls did a cover of this song. And dare I say it might even be better than the original. Now, it doesn't sound exactly like the Fleetwood Mac version. It sounds more like, if you know the songs like Hey Jealousy, and Semi-Chan kind of, it sounds more like those late 90s songs. They did it in that style. And that's when I really started to love this song. I'm like, this is a damn good song. It's like, it was always ignored by me when I was starting to get into this album, but I was like, It's a damn good song. So check it out if you haven't heard that.
I'm going
Again,
to.
I might be the only one that heard it. It may not be in your guys' wheelhouse. I know, especially Mario, I don't think you're into like that late 90s
Hmm.
rock, pop rock, but it has that sound to it. Definitely,
Okay.
you won't think, oh, that sounds just like the Fleetwood Mac version. Definitely not. But
Right, right.
it's a fun song.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay.
Oh, Daddy. Go ahead, Vincent.
Yeah, to me, this is the weakest song on the record to my ears. That being said, weak and you give something a 6 isn't that weak, you know? Just a 1 point below a 7. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like this when I listen to the entire record. I just feel like the rest of the songs really are just better than this. There's nothing
Yeah.
that really stands out to me that really grabs me. That being said, it's not like I would skip the song, so it's not one of those things.
Hmm.
So I give it a 6.
Okay. What about you,
Okay.
Supreme?
Hey, listen, it's I think it's well, she says it's about Mick Fleetwood because, he wasn't part of the drama, but his marriage was, ending,
Hmm.
and he was the only parent in the whole group. So she wrote this song about him, and it's a good song. I love her vocal, but it's a 7 for me.
Yep. It's funny because I was nervous. I thought that this was a beloved song by a lot of people.
Hmm.
And my notes was this is the quote unquote throwaway song on the album for me. Not that
Hmm.
it's a bad song. It
Right.
says more about the album than it does the song.
Exactly.
And I asked Vince to lead, and he pretty much says it almost word for word exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, good, I'm not the only one. If we were talking before about removing a song to put Silver Springs on the record, this is the
Hmm.
song that I would have removed. I understand
Mm.
politically they're not going to remove a Christine song, replace it with a Stevie Nicks song. I understand
Right.
that.
Right.
But Vin, I was with you 100%. To me, this is probably the weakest song on the album, but that says more about the album than it
Mm.
does the
Hmm.
song. I do, like you said, Mary, I love her vocal on it. I went with a 5.9 on this.
Okay. That's about right.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll accept that.
It's accepted. Okay, very good. All right, so then that brings us to the last song on the standard version of the album, Gold Dust Woman. Go ahead, Super. Super N.
Super.
Super, just Super.
Just
That's
Go
super.
ahead, Super.
this is like this could be a movie. I mean, I love that it's haunting, and it's obviously she had her issues with cocaine, um, but there's a line in here, get your silver spoon and go dig your grave. I mean, so it's not a ringing endorsement to go become an addict. It's she's just like horrified by the whole thing. And it's one of those Stevie Nicks songs where she has my attention with this song. And it has to do with the vocal, it has to do with the haunting music.
Mm.
It's a 9 for me.
Nice. What about you, Vin?
Great use of cowbell. First off, let's give it for the cowbell. And yeah, the mood of the guitar and the bass and the way kind of and the lyric and the harmonies in the chorus. I mean, it's again when you go through the record and now you're at the last song, you're like, does this sound like what should be the last song on a record?
Mhm.
You know, and I think they really the sequence of the record. I mean, obviously we know it. You've heard it this way,
Yep.
but if you're going to be objective, I mean, we've done it with other records. I think they did it in a perfect manner, you know, and yeah, this is upper echelon to me. It's a great song, great vibe, great vocal. I give it an 8.2.
Wow, nice. Yeah, this is a song I've always liked, never really loved. I don't know why. It's got a little bit of like a country or a folk type feel to me, a little bit. It's just when I listen to the whole record, this is one, honestly, I don't mind if I don't hear again. I hate to say it like that. Not that it's a
Oh.
bad song. I love the vocal. I love Stevie's vocal on this is great.
Hmm.
I'm guessing, based especially on the two of your reviews, a lot of people will side more with you than they will with me. I go with a 6 on this one. I think it's
Okay.
good. Compared to the rest of the record, it's Oh Daddy, I thought was the worst song on the record, but it's
Hmm.
almost like a tinge of disappointment after 9 incredible songs where I'm giving away 7, 8s, 9s,
Give it
10s.
away, give it away
And
now.
then the last two
Yeah.
songs are the weakest on the record to me, which again says more about the album. Because think about it, those two songs I'm saying are basically like 6s. So
Yeah, yeah,
if those are the
exactly.
worst songs on an album, you've done a pretty good freaking
Yeah,
album.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
but I'll say this
Wait,
again,
Mario,
just
what did you give it? I'm sorry.
9.
9. Okay.
Going back to replacing the Stevie Nicks song, this is the song I would have replaced on the record if I was going to put Silver
Really?
Springs. Yeah, to
Wow.
me, if you would have ended the album with Silver Springs instead of Gold Dust Woman,
Mm,
for me,
yeah.
it would have made the album better. But
Right. Okay.
I can't argue. A lot of people actually love this song, so it's a Stevie classic. So clearly, I'm in the minority, but that's my opinion. So, all right, Vin, on the standard version, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Silver Springs that we brought up a few times here, right? What is the ratings? Drum roll.
Okay. What are the ratings? Refresh my memory, Mr. Mike. Have you ever given any record an 8 or above rating?
2 albums,
Which are?
Hotter Than Hell and Rock and Roll Over.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you. I only have it right in front of me.
All right.
Since you said I don't compare it to others, and I've got it ready to compare. So.
Just check your math. So, Mike Brunn, you have rated this record 0.01 higher than Hotter Than Hell at an 8.073. I have 8.05, I think, for Hotter Than Hell.
And you did divide by 11, right?
This goes to 11.
Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Divided by 11,
Nice.
D5 to D15.
Yep.
I'm looking at my column. Yes.
Nice.
And the only other record you've rated higher at 8.09.
It's Rock and Roll Over, which I've said is my favorite record of all time. Right.
So considering all the records that we've done.
Yes.
Super M, you come in at an 8.645, a new record on this show.
That is true.
Yes. And Moi, an 8.118, which is highest rating.
Your first 8 ever.
Wow.
Yes.
So it goes back to the comment I made at the start of this. Is this the greatest album, beginning to end, ever? You can make a case, yes. Yeah, obviously everybody's opinions are going to be different song by song, but here it is, the three of us, my second highest rating, then your highest rating, and Super M given the highest rating ever of anybody on the show for any album.
I think this sounds like a challenge, and I'll tell you why. Super M brought this to our attention last year or the year before when we did the Alice Cooper. Was that late? I'm losing time in my years. Was that
about a year and a half ago?
Okay.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
We knew that this was going to be right?
Yes,
we knew this was going to be a layup, right?
Yep.
We knew that probably he held this in high regard, and that's hence his highest rating. I think you and I need to come up with a record that we know that could probably even eclipse our ratings on this, no doubt. And we could probably, and then we could do our reviews comparative and see where we stand. So I'm going to think long and hard of one of my favorite records where I think song after song after song is kind of on the same level as a Rumours. May not exist.
So I've tried to. So when I said but we needed to get together and do this, I didn't know where our overall ratings were going to land, nor did I realize that I was going to be at an 8, right? Because I don't do my math on my ratings beforehand. But I started to think, is there another album that I could think song by song by song compares that I would rate as high? And there's only one that comes into mind, which neither of you guys are even going to be close to the same rating that I have on that. I know that. I can't think of any other record that.
Well, I mean, immediately I think of a record, but it's a greatest hits record. When you look at the Eagles' greatest hits,
that doesn't count.
JNO Music World sticker 489, by the way.
You might as well just series. So Vin, I'm looking at our ratings, and I'll do our combined ratings, right? So Appetite for Destruction, we had it like 7.8, right? So right there, right? But just a smidge lower. Blizzard of Oz, 7.8. The Kiss debut album, 7.7. The Van Halen debut album, 7.6. Right. So those are all albums that I would be thinking are in contention to be as good as this. And we just rated this higher.
Well, I mean, it always brings up the point that I'll always say, I'm always going to listen to the first Kiss album over this record, even though the ratings are higher on this record. That doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean higher ratings overall doesn't mean that I'm going to put that record on before. You know what I'm saying?
You ready for this? In the last 5-10 years, I probably listened to Rumours more than the debut Kiss album.
Well, because you've seen them 700 times in concert.
Well, not only that, I just, as great as the Kiss debut album is,
you hate Cold Gin.
I hate Cold Gin.
I hate Cold Gin.
I hate Cold Gin. I don't like, Love Theme from Kiss.
Right.
And I don't think that some of those are the
Let's not
definitive versions of
let's
those songs.
let's not even don't even let me challenge you on this.
Right.
Desert Island, you got Fleetwood Mac Rumors of the first Kiss album. What are you keeping? Oh my God, he's even thinking about it. A good thing the car is warmed up. I'm going now.
Listen, I love this. I know maybe you don't realize I love this album. I really do. I probably choose.
You eat, bleed shit. You're making chicken with Kiss logo on top in the oven right now. Don't even try and go there with me on this one.
The thing is, the first Kiss debut album was not the first album.
You just
I'm
lost 200 listeners, by the way.
That's fine. I can understand that. But if I'm taking a Kiss album with me on the Desert Island, the debut album is not the first, second, or third one.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that with your childhood and everything you've had invested in Kiss, you're going to tell me you're going to pick the Fleetwood Mac record over the first Kiss album?
Yeah, I think that's fair. If I only have one record,
that's what I'm saying.
If I have one record and one record only I can listen to and nothing else, yeah, I'm going to take the first Kiss record.
Yeah.
If I'm being objective, the Fleetwood Mac album is.
You're going to pick Don't Stop, Go Your Own Way over Strutter or over Black Diamond?
Oh boy, that's tough. We just finished saying how Go Your Own Way is
I know
song.
that, but think about that. But think of the investment. Think of how what that, all the years and the marinade, the Worcestershire that's all over you. Come on.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Well, Mario, I'm going to turn the tables here to get the heat off of me.
Oh boy.
Would you choose this album over a Beatles album on your desert island?
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, you gave this rating an 8 point.
No.
Okay. Would you choose any and all Beatles albums before this one?
No.
Okay.
This is I mean, I would take Revolver to a desert island.
Mm-hmm.
I would take obviously Abbey Road, the White Album, and I would make room for Rumors. I would imagine.
Make room for Rumors. Rumors. You make room.
I make room for Rumors.
It's interesting because if I look at the ratings in front of me, so you rated Revolver at an 8.39, and what did he have then for Fleetwood Mac?
8.6.
So you actually Fleetwood Mac a little higher than Revolver. Rumors a little higher.
Remember, Revolver had how many songs did Revolver have?
14.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, so it's what 3 more. So
yeah,
I always feel like that affects the ratings. You got to be fair.
So I'm glad you just went down there. So now let's talk a little bit about, well, what if Fleetwood Mac had put one more song on this album? Silver Springs.
Gosh.
I try to think. So I'll be honest, I did not really know this song before they did it on the dance. And I know Fleetwood Mac.
You're not alone.
Right. I know Fleetwood Mac fans were very aware of this. I know it was a B-side in the 70s.
Yeah.
I know about Stevie Nicks being very angry and bitter that it was left off. I knew all of that, but I don't think I ever really heard it until the dance. And I was like, what the hell? How did they leave such an incredible song? I mean, honestly, if I'm giving ratings, I'm going like for the studio version, 9.5 to a 10 on this song. I mean, it's just that freaking good. It's like, how do you leave a song like this off this album?
That's just an embarrassment of riches where you could leave that song off of this album.
Okay.
And you're right. The dance, that live version when she's looking at him like, oh God, wonderful song. It definitely belonged on the album, I think. It's funny, they had to take it into the parking lot to tell her because they didn't want her screaming in front of everybody. And then they offered to snip it a little bit and edit it down. And she said, no. That's like, you don't edit a book because then the book won't make sense. So she took, the B-side of Go Your Own Way and they put the other song on there instead. But when she started touring in 81, 83, she never did this song.
I know.
But then in an interview, towards around the dance, she goes, she doesn't like to do that song unless Lindsey Buckingham is on the stage with her. So.
And look, I know that facing each other, which, like you said, is just such a phenomenal moment. And I know it's stage and they did that at every show, basically, right? So I recognize that. But man, if you could just feel the tension between them as they're singing this, looking at each other, I don't know if there's a better live performance of a single song ever than that
Yeah,
performance of that song on that night. It's just phenomenal to me.
tremendous.
Phenomenal. If you were given a rating to this song, the studio version, where do you fall, Mario?
Oh yeah, this is what a 10 sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
without
amazing. So I'm saying 9.5, 10. You're saying
yeah.
10. Vin, I don't know, if you have the love for this song the way
Well,
Mario and I do.
yeah, I don't think I give it a 10, but I'd definitely go, probably 8.5 or above, just a
Hmm.
quick. I have to really listen to it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of my, I hear it, I hear the chorus and I
Hmm.
hear, but, you know, but yeah, it's easy to give this a high rating.
Yeah.
So the amazing thing to me is think about the rating that each of us had for this album already, which was the highest ratings basically we've ever given a record. And we're saying a song left off would have made that rating even higher.
Even higher.
Yeah.
That's friggin'
Yeah.
I try to think, is there another album where a song was left off that was better than Silver Springs?
Wow. I don't know. This is the biggie. I
Yeah.
I mean, it got forgot. There's a live Fleetwood Mac album in 80, 81, and it's not on there.
Hmm.
And then they put out a box set, and of course it's on there. But then the dance turned the tables on everything. That was
Yeah.
just it's like almost like hearing it for the first time. I don't know how you were when you were kids, but did you listen to the B-sides of your 45s? I think it kind of got forgotten.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
say this, in the 80s, I would buy 45s if
Yeah.
they had non-album cut. Like I have a lot of Def Leppard 45s that have B-sides on it that weren't on the albums.
Oh, okay.
But in 77, 78, when this album was huge, I was not buying 45s, right?
Right.
So I was not aware of this song for
Hmm.
years, for
Yeah.
many years. I'd heard some of the stories, but I never heard the song.
Right. Right.
You couldn't go on YouTube and say, "Oh, let me listen to this song,"
Completely
so
different. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, and Mary, I don't know if do you ever listen to any of like the deluxe releases that they put out for this album?
No, actually, it came out and I streamed it a little bit on Spotify, but I didn't run out and buy the actual
Okay.
album. But
In 2013, I think it was, they put out a deluxe version of the album, and there's a
hmm
demo on there for a song called Planets of the Universe. Have you ever heard that?
no.
Oh, you've got to listen to it. It's another
Uh-oh.
Stevie Nicks song.
Okay. I'm writing it
She's
down now.
literally sitting at a piano,
Hmm.
and the song is friggin' mesmerizing. It's haunting. It's like, and it was written for this album and it was left off,
And
right?
left off.
And her vocal on this, it's just a demo, is phenomenal. And the
Okay.
song is, it's another song to me that might have been like a 9 on this album. It's that
Wow.
good.
Okay.
She ended up recording it, I think, in the early 2000s and put it on one of her solo albums.
hmm
Totally changed the sound of the record, the
Uh,
song. It just is nowhere near as good to me. But
okay.
if you listen to, and there's two different demos out there. I think there was a version released in 2004 and another
hmm
one in 2013. The
Okay.
2013 one, she's just sitting at a piano and she's playing the piano actually, which I didn't realize and if you listen to this, she's actually pretty
Yeah.
decent. She's sitting there playing the piano and singing the song, and her voice just sounds, and I think Vin, how we talk about like AI and all that
Yeah.
nonsense, and this is just them recording to get like a session of this song, and she just
Yeah.
sounds perfect. And then at the end she's like, well, that wasn't wonderful or anything. I'm like, what? That's freaking phenomenal. Oh my God. So this song really flies under the radar because it was only on these
Wow.
deluxe editions, and I don't
Okay.
think they've ever performed it live,
Okay.
but maybe one of her best vocals ever. And the song to
Wow.
me is just, I'll text it to you guys afterwards so you don't even have to go crazy looking for it. But I'm
Okay. Okay.
wondering
Thanks.
how many other people who watch this have ever even heard the song. And it just makes me think, and I'm glad they didn't do this, but man, they had enough material to make this a double album if they wanted to,
Right.
And
Right.
I'm wondering like why a song like Silver Springs didn't make it onto their next album or the album after that. Like, how do you have
Yeah.
that song just sit around and say, we're not going to use it at all?
That's
You know?
how prolific they were. They
Yeah,
had so
Yeah.
many songs.
it's amazing. Amazing.
As fans, we gush over the really good ones, but to them, I mean, they knew the album was good, but they had no idea it was going to be all these
Yeah,
years later. People just, it's like a beloved album,
it
Yeah.
is. It really is. Now, for both of you guys, have either of you seen the classic Fleetwood Mac lineup in concert?
Never
And
got
you're
Wow.
there.
not, and you're not gonna.
Two no's. No, and you're not going to. So you ready for this?
No.
unknown to me at the time, I saw their final performance together.
At Radio City?
No, their final full concert, I should say.
Oh,
Final
oh, oh,
full.
okay.
So
Okay.
they played City Field in 2017 with Journey, and it was a
With
double
Journey.
headline.
Right.
And at that time, there was a lot of noise around Journey and comments being made in the press. And people thought this might be Journey's last concert together, that they might break up after
Wow.
this. So I was going that night saying, hey, at least I'll get to see Journey right in this
Right.
iteration.
Right.
And Fleetwood Mac was there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen Fleetwood Mac. I'll see
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac also.
Right.
Ironic that it turns out that Journey continued, and I've seen Journey a few more times since
Yeah.
then.
And
And that
they,
was unbeknownst to us at the time, that was
right.
Fleetwood Mac's final full concert, public concert with the classic era lineup. So it was the only time I
Wow.
saw them, was their last one. It was in City Field here in New York.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I've seen Stevie Nicks a number of times,
Yeah. You see, now I've never seen her solo.
but never Fleetwood Mac.
And what did you think of her? Because I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say she's great solo, and I've heard other people say she talks too much.
She talks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Okay.
talks a lot.
She does. Okay.
But it's part of her storytelling.
Mhm.
The first time I ever saw her was at the then Brendan Byrne Arena, and her father introduces her. He comes out, this older gentleman comes out and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my daughter, Stevie Nicks." And she goes right into Gold Dust Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she puts on a very storytelling kind
Mm-hmm.
of, let's sit down and have some coffee kind of show.
No
And
surprise.
and it's she's a very talented lady,
She is.
She
She
really
is.
is.
I'll say thank you,
Beautiful
Lindsay,
voice.
for insisting that she comes along, because she might have just been
Exactly.
lost the time. Imagine that. Imagine a
Exactly.
talent like us being lost the time.
Hmm.
And Christine McVie goes, we didn't know who the girl was, but he insisted. I was like, well, you know who she is now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Uh, anything else we want to touch on before we wrap this up? Vin, anything else you wanted to say?
No, I mean it's just to note you're talking about touring and seeing them that they replaced Lindsey Buckingham with two people. I thought
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, two great talents, Mike Campbell and Neil Finn. Neil Finn, I think his name is, guy from Crowded House, and Mike Campbell, of course, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. But for me, I think about it now. If there was an opportunity to see them again, Christine McVie having that voice and having that sound,
Mm,
I don't know if it's a deal breaker, but it's really tough. But
yeah.
you don't have Lindsay there. It's just, it's to me, it's like kind of a Stevie Nicks, solo show, honestly. And no
Right.
disrespect to
No.
Streisand, Winwood, or Howie Mandel, but um, it's it's a shame now, because it's kind of it's lost,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess they still haven't been able to resolve their issues with Lindsay, and I think that
Well,
had to do with touring. He got
yeah, but
fired.
it seems like there's been a thorn there, because
Mm,
Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham have been, at least on social media, communicating with each other,
mhm.
especially about, I think they just re-released the Buckingham Nicks record for the
Right.
first time in
Right.
decades.
Hmm.
And they were complimentary towards each other. And supposedly the rift was between the two of them. No
Yeah.
shock there.
Right.
So it gives a chance that it could be the four of them. I'll be honest, I wouldn't go see Fleetwood Mac without Lindsey Buckingham.
Right.
I probably would without Christine McVie. I hate to say
Hmm.
that, because
Hmm.
she was such an integral part of
I
what
wonder
they
who's
do.
singing. I guess they got a backing singer or whatever to sing her part. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder who
But
it is.
I don't know if they'll ever play again, the five of them, or the four of them now together as
Mm,
Fleetwood Mac.
mm,
Because Christine was such a huge part of it.
yeah.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean,
Anyway,
it's a shame that these great bands, that they don't write music, and they're playing older songs. I know a lot of people, when you go to a concert, you know you're like, oh, here's a fucking new song. I don't want to hear this shit. But I mean, even what we were saying, you said you saw them at City Field in 2017 or
Yep.
18. I think that was
Yeah.
about the point.
Mhm.
I mean, their last studio album was 2003. I mean, there was so much. It's like Van Halen. There was
Yeah.
like so many years they could have, or even Kiss. There was so many years that they could have kind of.
Yeah.
And I hate the excuses. We'll write
Yeah.
something when we have something to write about, or the market doesn't really want to hear. Who wants to hear?
But I'll
it's
say
like,
this: when I went to see Fleetwood Mac that night, I didn't want to hear new music.
I
I hate to
understand that.
say it.
Yeah,
I
but you
hate to
don't want to
say
hear new
it.
music. But these are legendary artists with legendary songwriting capabilities. Yeah, maybe you don't want to hear those songs off potentially the record that they could create, but
Mm,
they should still be creating music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
And just for the record, when I saw Def Leppard a couple of years ago and they were doing a new song, I was really excited. And my friends were like, "You know the song?" I'm like, "Yeah, their new stuff's really good. I like some of their new
Well,
stuff."
I give them credit because they're
Yeah.
one of the rare bands that
Yeah.
they'll
first
do it, and secondly say they sing live, because it's just do a YouTube search on how many people are using auto-tune and or not even auto-tune, they're singing to Don Henley being one of them, Roger Waters being one of them. It's terrible. I mean, you're paying big money and you're not even getting a live performance anymore. Don't get me started.
No, that's
Don't
another whole topic. So
I hear Michael Jackson saying, "You want to be starting something?" Yeah, I
do. Mario, anything else that you want to say?
That might be my record.
Oh,
I got to think about
off the wall.
Thriller off the wall. Thriller. I mean, how could you not thrill? It's like but I got to think about that.
Think about it.
I hold that album in very high regard. I think I just thought of my record.
I can say off the top of my head.
Spoiler alert!
Off the top of my head, I don't think Thriller is as good as Rumours. Off the top of my head, I haven't listened to the album front to back in decades.
That's what I'm saying. All right, DeCaro.
Mario, anything else you want to say before we close this up?
Real quickly.
Eat this chicken.
Or eats the chicken. When you guys did the Ace Frehley album, you started to mention other albums that same year.
Yes.
All right. So 1977, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd, Animals, the album behind you, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks, David Bowie, Low, Queen, News of the World. This is just an ongoing list of super talented
like today's
people.
Times. Like today's times, when you go look at the Billboard charts.
Yeah, exactly. Electric Light Orchestra, Out of the Blue, Leonard Skinner, Streets.
Was that 77? Really? I thought that was 1980. Out of the Blue.
77.
Really? Wow.
Unbelievable. And Rush, A Farewell to Kings.
Right.
Jeez.
I always think of
amazing.
In the 70s, I think of 77 being like the pinnacle year. Just the fact that you have Hotel California and Rumours in contention with each other. I mean, two of the arguably greatest albums of all time.
Right.
Coming out in the same year. It's just incredible.
Let me piggyback on his list, because there's so many other records too. You said it earlier, Steely Dan Asia, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in 77. You got what you call it, the Ramones, Rocket to Russia, right? You got the Clash's first album. I got Millie Jackson. I don't know about that one. Earth, Wind and Fire. There's so many. Donna Summers, Once Upon a Time. Obviously, Kiss, Love Gun. Styx, Grand Illusion. Billy Joel, The Stranger. Steve Miller Band, The Book of Dreams. That oh my God, fucking great record. Got chills. Just the Slow Hand by Eric Clapton. I mean,
AC/DC, Let There Be Rock.
Yeah, Let There Be Rock. Cheap Trick in Color. Foreigner's first album. I mean, yes, people, we're never going to see this again.
Never.
Kansas, Point of No Return.
Wow. Great stuff.
Damn. You know what? I can't take. They're all here. They're all here. I can listen to them anytime.
Is the Sex Pistols album there for you?
I have it.
Really? Wow. All right.
There you go.
Actually, knows I was a huge Sex Pistols fan.
Truth be told, my original begrudgingly bought after you bludgeoned me to death every day listening to it, and I bought it. I think it's a Super Savers. My brother always knew I wasn't a huge fan, and he asked me one day, and I gave it to him. And then I think there was a record store day that came out 1 year, and I bought that. And then my uncle gave me a crate of his records, and this is original press, and I have it. So I actually have 2 copies of it.
Wow.
Hey. Yeah.
One more than I do then. Speaking
of which, I don't think we're going to have another podcast or period cast. Then this record store day, this Kiss record, this legendary special.
Promo.
What is it called?
There's like a promo thing that came out in the 70s. Yeah.
So let's just quickly debate, because I know it's chicken time. What do we feel about, does it devalue the original? Does it mean now all those people who are clamoring to get that original copy, now this comes out and you kind of have it? What's you guys' opinion?
This is my opinion. The collector's version of the original promo is pricey. If you're an album collector, you want the original.
Yeah.
If you're a Kiss collector and you don't care, you probably were never going to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for 4 songs that you have already on a record, but you might pick up the record store day release. So I don't think it really impacts the market.
So
much.
you don't think it kind of freezes the cost, saying like, okay, this other version came out, so rather than it keep going up, is it going to
I don't think so. And I don't know the exact value of the 76 promo these days, but I thought I saw somebody say it was worth like 500 or more. You could fact check me on that. Somebody who's going to spend $500 on a record is clearly going to know the difference and not be as interested in saying, well, I'll just get the new one for $40 instead of, if you're a collector like that, you want the original, I think. That's just my opinion. What do you think,
Super M? What do you think?
As a McCartney fan, I was really looking and collecting and all that good stuff. And I found finally the Maybe I'm Amazed from Wings Over America. And that promo single cost me north of $100. And then Record Store Day came out with the exact same thing, not even color vinyl to differentiate it, the exact same record, and like you said, for 35. And the value of the original has decreased.
Has it? Interesting.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
It looks exactly, now at least this Kiss one's going to be splatter vinyl, which is, you're never going to confuse it with the one from 77 or 76, was it? You're never going to confuse the two. So they're two separate entities. I think the value of the Kiss one is going to retain its energy. But the McCartney one, it is identical. Identical.
Now, I wonder, you said it was a $100 price point. I wonder if there'll be a difference if the Kiss one is at a $500 price point. In my mind, you're only getting serious collectors buying records for $500.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at Discogs. The lowest it's sold for, and this could be all time. So when you hear this price, $85, the highest is $525. The median is $312, and there's currently 3 copies on there right now, and $449, $700, and $670. But that's about $815 because it's different country, whatever. Okay. So, and the funny thing is, I think I could have had this maybe 5 or 6 years ago, whatever it was, for like $120 or whatever. I was like, I so much money. I ain't spend that kind of money on this fucking thing.
Right.
I think I actually saw it in a store.
I had one probably about 10 years ago and I sold it.
Yeah. How much did you pay for it then? You remember?
I bought a collection from somebody and it was part of the collection. So
I think I remember when you got that collection.
Yeah. I bought a whole collection and it was in there, and I sold the record 10 years ago for $150 or something like that. And I had no regrets, because as I get older, to have 4 songs that are identical to the album releases, just in a different sleeve, doesn't excite me. Saying that, I'm in the process of accumulating literally 40 something different versions of the original Star Wars movie.
Jesus Christmas.
So just because there's like one line different here, one scene different there, like literally. So yeah, fun fact, then we're going to wrap this up. Everybody knows, Mario, are you a Star Wars fan at all?
Oh God.
No, okay.
I'm getting in the car again. I know your address too.
Nothing wrong with saying no. That's okay. So,
I never saw Star Wars.
Okay,
now I'm really getting the car. Where's that key fob that I said he never? I mean, there's one thing to not like Star Wars. I've heard people say that, but never see it. What 70s freaking grown up?
That is now two people.
The Los Oriental had it was right there. I saw it right there.
2 people in my life I know that say that they've never seen Star Wars. The other being my dad.
This is a shock. I know Super M, but this is like I may need therapy off of this one.
Well, confession. Sorry.
That's okay. No, it's okay. So
I never saw Star Trek either.
Here's me neither. So, but here's my fun fact, and then we're gonna wrap up. The original Star Wars movie came out in May of '77. Everybody knows George Lucas has made changes to the movie many times, right? Do you know when the first change was made to the movie that went into theaters? It came out in May of '77. Do you know when the first change was?
Didn't they change the movie poster? Was that what you're talking about?
Nope, the movie itself.
Oh, okay, no.
The movie came out in May of '77. When did Lucas make his first change and put a different version of the movie into the theaters?
Was it? Oh, it was into the theaters, because I was saying, I know sometimes with the VHS copy came out, they did things to that.
I'll give you the answer.
Yeah, give me the answer. Well, Mario obviously is not going to know it, so.
So it came out in May of '77. The next version came out in June of '77.
Oh, wow.
Literally, it got released to 40 theaters. And then by the time it got the wide release, he decided to change a couple of scenes, a couple of takes that the dialogue was from, added a little bit of dialogue in it, literally 1 month after the movie was released. So I've been a nut lately collecting all the different versions that are out there. That's the moral of the story here. But anyway,
Okay, I do have a Star Wars
Go
thing.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. When Fleetwood Mac was up for the Grammy and they won Album of the Year and the Eagles won Record of the Year, what album was right there with them but didn't win anything? Star Wars
Miko's greatest
soundtrack.
hits. And
Star Wars soundtrack.
and we're talking about 77, and that'll be
77.
the tie-in of all of this, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there it is, my all-time favorite movie, 1977. What a freaking great year.
What a great year.
What a
I
great
thought
year.
Empire Strikes Back was your all-time favorite movie.
I'm saying so was the genre, like the whole
franchise.
The franchise, yes, not the
Yeah.
genre, the franchise.
Right.
It started in 77, May of 77. Yeah. So anyway, I'm curious to see what people think about the Fleetwood Mac album. I have to think that people are going to hold it in.
Never mind that. What they think of Mario not seeing Star Wars.
Don't
I
have
won't be
him
back,
Mike.
everybody. So thank you.
That's great. That is great. No, but I'm curious to see what people think about the Rumours album. Do you put it up there as one of the greatest albums of all time, like the three of us did? If you don't, what is it about it that you don't like? All opinions are welcome. There's no right or wrong answers here, right? So I'm curious, though, for the people, especially who don't like it, what is it about the record that doesn't resonate with you? Seemed like, at least for Vin and I, Oh Daddy was the throwaway song. What's the quote unquote throwaway song to the people who do like the album? What do you think's the throwaway song? What song would you have taken off to put Silver Springs on the record? And would you have put Silver Springs on the record in place of any other song? Really curious what people have to say. As always, no right or wrong answers. All opinions are welcome. Gentlemen, always a blast to do this. I'm glad we got to do another one of these soon, and we'll do another one sooner rather than later. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. On that note, I think we leave with double peace signs. All righty. There you have it. Our thoughts and our opinions on the classic Fleetwood Mac album, Rumours. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions as well. Do you think this is one of the greatest albums of all time? What albums do you think are better? We really look forward to seeing your opinions. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.